Hi everyone and welcome back to another Monday guide. It's summer, it's vacation times, which means a lot of people around the globe go heavy on the holiday cruises. So why not continue on the World War II equivalent and continue the Navy theme that I got going in the last couple of guides. So 5 things you didn't know about heavy cruisers. I really hope you guys will enjoy it. Alright, so let's start right away with the first point, and that is when I swap on a cruiser hull here, if I swap between a light cruiser battery and a heavy cruiser battery, that's basically what turns it to a capital ship instead of a screen type ship. And you see it on this little symbol here. What many doesn't know is that it also changes what kind of adjusters it has. So if I'm a light cruiser now, then I will be good in fjords and archipelagos, but I won't be good at all in deep oceans, as you can see here. If I'm back as a heavy cruiser, all of a sudden I am okay in deep oceans, but I'm not good at all in fjords and archipelagos. So that's a big difference between heavy cruisers and light cruisers, what kind of sea type or sea zone type they are good in. Another thing is, of course, also that if you go become a capital ship, which a heavy cruiser is, that also means that the capital ship adjusters will start apply. So if you have the capital ship buffs plus an armor, attack and armor, that will apply to a heavy cruiser but not to a light cruiser, and vice versa with the screen type. So all buffs going to either war. This is a bad example because it's 10% to both, but yeah, you get my point. But another very important thing is that if it's a heavy cruiser versus a light cruiser, it ends up in a naval battle in the battle line, which is the second line. A light cruiser ends up in the screen line, which is the first line. And there's a lot of several differences what this means, but among some of them is that if you're in the battle line, you will be at prioritized targets by torpedoes and heavy guns. So torpedoes won't be able to hit you if there's full screening, or most likely not be able to hit you if there's full screening in front of you. But if they're not, they will try to hit you with torpedoes. But heavy guns will try to hit you right away, most likely, or like the ships in this line. But also, if you're in this line and you have, it's enough if there's one ship in front of you, then you won't be able to get hit by light guns, because light guns will always try to clean out the first line in front of you first, which means that if the enemy is heavy on the light guns, only prioritize light guns, they won't be able to hit you as long as you have something in front of you. So that's the upside as well. But if you're a light cruiser, then you won't be prioritized target by the heavy guns as long as there's something in the back lines, and vice versa. Another thing is then, because if you're in this line, you won't be giving screening to the same line, but you will be giving screening to the carrier line. So as you can see right now, there's 100% screening efficiency to the carrier line. So this means that one heavy cruiser will and can be able to screen one carrier. The upside of using a heavy cruiser instead of like a battleship or a battle cruiser is a heavy cruiser still has the same or very similar hit profile as a light cruiser, because they share the same visibility. But a heavy cruiser is usually a little bit slower, which means that it almost gets the same kind of hit profile as a light cruiser, which in other words means that it's very difficult to hit. So even though it's a prioritized target by heavy guns, it's still quite difficult to hit it with heavy guns because it's quick and nimble as compared to a battleship, for example. So they are very, it can be very worthwhile to use them as screens for carriers, as they don't cost as much as a battleship, and they are really difficult to hit as well. Before moving on to the next part, I just want to take a short moment of your time and say that most of you watching this are yet not subscribed to the channel. So if you really like what we do and you want more guides from me and Boppus every week, please hit that subscribe button and you will receive it every Monday. If you really like what we do, then you can also become a Patreon. Not only would you support us and keep this circus of nerdery on the road, but also get access to a full archive of Patreon exclusive guide. You'll find it in the description below. To my second point, which is a quick one, but a very good one, and that is, if it's now a heavy cruiser, it means that it's a capital ship, which means that you can make it into a pride of the fleet. The upside of getting a Pride of the Fleet is that it will give you, yeah, you see the bonuses here, but it will give you war support, which is the big thing here. So if I put this one now on and I pay for it, I will get 5% war support up here. This is very usable for especially allied countries in the build-up, because getting that war support up a little bit can be the difference between going from civilian economy to early mobilization or partial mobilization. So usually a lot of, especially in multiplayer, a lot of countries just build one really cheap heavy cruiser to be able to make it into a Pride of the Fleet as quick as possible. On to my third point, and that is a heavy cruiser is the only ship type that can use all gun types. So I think I built a version here. Yeah, all around. So if we have a look at this one, you can see that I fitted the heavy cruiser gun down here. And then I put a torpedo here. I put a light secondary armament up here, a light gun, and also a depth charge. So, and those are the 4 different gun types you can have in a naval battle. So this little heavy cruiser, I wouldn't recommend building it like this, but this can fire all different gun types at the same time in a naval battle on different targets as well. So that's something to consider. But you know, to the point, the real point of that is that it's very versatile. It's kind of like the tactical bomber on the seas. You can use it for everything, but it's not best at anything. So usable for a lot of different builds. So on to my fourth point, which I don't think a lot of people knows, and that is a heavy cruiser can also screen up to 4 convoys. I said before a heavy cruiser can screen 1 carrier because it screens the backline, but one heavy cruiser also screens up to 4 convoys with 100% efficiency. And that is compared to a destroyer or a light cruiser that screens up to 2 convoys per ship. So it's actually more efficient in screening. Maybe not in terms to cost, but you know, it's still something. And moreover, it also screens away heavy guns, which the frontline screens doesn't, because it shoots over them. So it's actually quite a good screen alternative for convoy escort. On top of that, since it can fit all different gun types, and the late models can have 2 depth charges instead of just 1 that the early ones can have, you could also actually fit a ship type like this. And I'm just sonar as well and radar, something like this. So this would mean that a heavy cruiser could actually be quite good as anti-sub warfare, because it's good at spotting and it actually has the depth charges it needs to get rid of them, and it's quick. So it's worth considering that, okay, maybe you could use heavy cruisers as some kind of screen alternative. I'm not sure I would recommend it, but hey, it can be quite a good screen. So on to my fifth point, and that is that there are some hybrid heavy cruisers out there, which is kind of fun. So if we have a look at, now I'm playing in Yugoslavia, and what they have something called the coastal defense ship when the game starts. So if you open that one up, you can see it's a heavy cruiser or a light cruiser where you could fit the heavy cruiser, light cruiser gun types on them, but also a heavy battery, which is kind of crazy. The ship type has very short range, but and also very short, slow speed. But it can fit a lot of really nice guns on top of it, with some other nice bits and bobs on it. So different slots for different purposes. But you know, there are some, it's kind of like a small pocket battleship or something that you can use to surprise someone. The other alternative is like the torpedo cruiser that everyone can get through special projects. And it's basically like a heavy cruiser or light cruiser where you can fit a lot of torpedoes. I think you have 4 torpedo slots on it. Yeah, there we go. So that's kind of exciting, and it has a bit of a range as well. But my favorite one, and let's swap over to the Germans, that is the historical and very epic Panzerschiff. So if you look at it, here we go. So it's kind of expensive, but this is the thing. It has max range of 7,500, and it can fit heavy batteries on it. So battleship or battlecruiser gun types on a heavy cruiser that can travel across the globe, basically. So it's the perfect, radio everywhere kind of ship, and it still, as you can see here, just as some examples, it can fit different gun types on it as well. So, and I'm not sure if there are other hybrid hulls out there as well. There might be. Please comment if there are, but those different ones can really use the heavy cruiser as some kind of hybrid ship for different purposes as well, which is really, really exciting. All right, so some concluding remarks at the very end. So the heavy cruiser is usually used as, like a poor man's battleship or battlecruiser, or like a screen for carriers, which is good at. But on top of that, what we've learned through this guide today is that a heavy cruiser can also be used as some kind of weird escort for convoys, and it's actually kind of good at it, but also as a sub-hunter. On top of that, it's also a very good surface raider because it can fit heavy guns, and especially the Panzerschiffs or some kind of hybrid versions of it. And why that's good is because the heavy guns actually shoot over the screens that appear in front of them. So if there's a destroyer or light cruiser that tries to shield you off from the convoys, your heavy gun types will just shoot over their head and still hit the convoys. So then they would need a backline screen to stop you, and no one does that really. So I hope you guys learned something new today and you enjoyed the guide. Next week it will probably be a podcast format, and after that it will be Bopus. So a personal guide like this from me will come again in a few weeks' time. And yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed it.